Welcome to Christ's Culture, where we place kingdom over culture. I was raised in Michigan for the most of my childhood life, most of my adolescence, Saginaw, Michigan. And one family, one parent household. My mom was single at the time, 5 children, myself being the oldest. And it was a time we was living in the projects, living off of governmental assistance, WIC, which means women, infants, and children. The vouchers you get through the WIC, the cheese you get through the government, through the welfare. We was doing all that at the time, living in the projects, living on WIC, living on governmental assistance, living on welfare. And a lot of times, in the house, when all the food was gone, the only thing that you would probably have left in the kitchen was in the refrigerator, that box of welfare cheese in that brown box. And in and also on top of the refrigerator, you'll have King Vitamin cereal. Cheese in the refrigerator, King Vitamins on top of the refrigerator. And when all the other food was gone, you can rely on that cheese and those King Vitamin cereal. And there were times where we ran out of milk, and remember them times where you had just a little milk left. You had to put a little milk in there, and it wasn't nearly enough, so you had to add water to the cereal. We used to do that a lot, and sometimes we didn't have any milk, so we just added water and sugar. And and those were times food wasn't in the house. My mom, she was out doing her thing. I'm the oldest, 8 years old, 9 years old, taking care of my brothers and sisters, and that cheese and those cereal, what I relied on many days, to feed my siblings. And we make the little cheese sandwiches or whatever, and we eat the cereal, like I said. But if we didn't have no milk, we would add water. It was so hard for us to eat those cereal plain or dry. We had to have some type of liquid in those cereal. So we would add water. If we had just a little milk left, we would kind of divide the milk amongst all the children. Everybody get a little milk, and then we just fill the bowl up with water, add sugar, and that's what it was. So nowadays you have like a lot of children and also a lot of adults. They they eat dry cereal all the time now. It's like one of the most popular snacks, in America, in the world, actually. Dry cereal. You have the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, whatever you may like, but the Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever, people just eat them. Golden Grams, people just eat them dry. Kids just eat them dry. I have an 11-year-old daughter. In her entire life, she never ate a bowl of cereal with milk in it. She always eat her cereal dry. And you got a lot of adults I know eat dry cereal for snacks, and it just shows you how the culture has changed, how times have changed. There was a time when I was growing up, in my time as a kid, eating dry cereal wasn't heard of. We rather add water to the cereal over eating dry cereal. And nowadays, dry cereal is the popular thing to do. It just goes to show you how culture changed, how people change. And but in the kingdom of God, the kingdom never changes. His statutes don't change. His commandments don't change. The truth never changes. The way he conduct business, the way he have his government set up in the kingdom of God, God does not change. The Bible says he's the same today, tomorrow, and forevermore. He just does not change. So, and that's why we put kingdom over culture, because culture will change. But the kingdom of God will never change. God has set his standards. He has set his laws. He has set his rules, his commandments. And it's our job as citizens to follow those laws, follow those rules, and to follow those commandments. Culture may change, but the kingdom of God never changes. And that's why we put kingdom over culture.